Hello and welcome to another edition of News Showcase. I am Priya, Tamil Nadu's first artificial intelligence news presenter. Police near Delhi have broken up a gathering of protesting farmers on the border between the states of Punjab and Haryana. Images showed massive clouds of smoke that made it nearly impossible to see as hundreds of farmers and journalists scrambled to avoid volleys of tear gas shells. At least 20 shells were fired around noon, reportedly without any provocation, when the farmers started to advance towards Delhi. Police, who outnumbered the farmers, dropped smoke bombs from drones at the staging point in Shambhu, some 200 kilometers from Delhi. Some reports said the farmers arrived in waves on board tractors, carrying food supplies that could last for months, a sign that they were prepared for a long protest. Protesting farmers marched into Delhi from surrounding states in support of their demands. Security was tight, with barricades and barbed wire roadblocks a common sight across the city. Similar arrangements are in place along the borders with multiple barricades to regulate the marching farmers. To ensure law and order, Section 144 has been enforced, restricting the entry of tractor trolleys and gatherings. Delhi Police and the Central Armed Police Force are actively present, and the border sealing preparations are extensive. A security force of more than 2,000 personnel is on standby to maintain order and deal with possible outbreak of violence. The Delhi Police has also issued a detailed traffic advisory to help motorists reach their destinations with less difficulty. Shallow fog conditions were observed in isolated pockets of Delhi on Tuesday morning, as per the India Meteorological Department. The Weather Office has also predicted light rain or drizzle in the national capital for Tuesday and Wednesday. The visibility in the Palam and Safdarjung areas of Delhi was recorded at 500 meters at 5:30 a.m. on Tuesday. The visibility in the Palam area dropped to 150 meters at 6:30. It had further dropped to 50 meters at 7 o'clock a.m. The month of February in Delhi continues to offer pleasant weather, with nearly 11 hours of sunlight daily. The cool breeze and low humidity levels create a comfortable atmosphere for sightseeing and outdoor activities. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is taking part in a gathering of the Indian diaspora being staged in the United Arab Emirates. Organizers said 65,000 people registered to attend the event at the Zayed Sports City Stadium in Abu Dhabi, described as one of the largest diaspora events ever. About 700 local artists have set up a cultural extravaganza for the audience, and 150 Indian community groups from across the nation are taking part. According to UAE's ambassador to India, Abdul Nasser Al Shali, PM Modi's visit is very important for the two nations' bilateral relations. Reports said PM Modi will also hold talks with President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan to explore ways to deepen and build their strategic alliance. 18 Indian fishermen released by the Sri Lankan authorities landed at the airport in Chennai. The fishermen from Rameshwaram, a coastal town in Tamil Nadu, were arrested by the Sri Lankan Navy for fishing in its waters. Reports said they were detained near Delft Island in the Palk Bay Sea. Both sides accuse each other's fishermen of crossing into their territory, where incidents of border violations remain unsolved for decades. Fishermen have complained of damage to their boats and fishing nets, as well as their catch being seized when they are intercepted by the Navy. Numerous protests have been held to draw attention to the issue, but there has been no sign of progress in efforts by the state and federal authorities so far. Reports say the leader of the National Conference, Farooq Abdullah, did not respond to a summons by investigators in connection with a money laundering case. The Enforcement Directorate issued the summons on Monday in the case involving the Jammu and Kashmir Cricket Association. According to the investigators, the case relates to the alleged siphoning of funds of the association and transferring them to various personal bank accounts of unrelated parties, including association officials. Abdullah was earlier summoned for questioning in January, but he did not appear before the central agency. The Bengal Safari Park in Siliguri got a pair of lions, a 7-year-old male and a 5-year-old female, which have become the latest residents as part of an animal exchange program with the Sipahi Jala Geological Park in Tripura. The regal felines arrived on February 12th alongside 2 spectacled langurs, 4 blackbucks, and 2 leopard cats. The arrival of the big cats adds a new dimension to the wildlife experience for visitors, enhancing the diversity and charm of the park. This exchange initiative is a reciprocal arrangement as Bengal Safari recently sent 2 Royal Bengal tigers, leopards, and various birds to the Geological Park in Tripura. The animal exchange program aims to foster conservation efforts, broaden the genetic diversity of wildlife populations. The Human Rights Watch has said that Pakistani authorities should ensure the peaceful transfer of power following national parliamentary elections this month. It said in a statement, the Election Commission should promptly announce the official results and all political parties should commit to upholding democratic norms and cooperate with an independent investigation into alleged election irregularities. The Pakistan general elections were marred by widespread clampdown on freedom of expression and association. The mass detention of supporters of the ex-Prime Minister Imran Khan's PTI party, including a ban on it from contesting in the polls, undermined a fair vote and prevented a level playing field. US President Joe Biden has said an Israeli offensive in Rafah should not proceed without a credible plan for ensuring the safety of more than 1 million Palestinians who are taking refuge there. He claimed that a large number of the city's displaced residents in the south of Gaza were exposed and vulnerable and in need of protection. Local people and humanitarian workers said the people are terrified and many deaths are likely in the event of a full-scale Israeli military operation. Rafah on the Egyptian border is now home to more than 2.3 million people, most of them who fled from other areas of Gaza Strip in the wake of the conflict, which began in early October. Donald Trump, the former U.S. president, has requested that the Supreme Court set aside a lower court's decision that he is not immune from prosecution as president. In his case regarding election meddling, he had argued that he could not be punished for actions taken while serving as president. In contrast, 3 justices on the lower court decided that he might face the same charges as any other citizen. Trump's attorneys argued that his trial ought not to take place in the midst of an election. They said conducting a months-long criminal trial of Trump at the height of election season will radically disrupt his ability to campaign against President Biden. The Supreme Court will now determine whether to stay the decision so that Trump can file an appeal. The China Aerospace Science and Industry Corporation claims that its new magnetically levitated or maglev train has beaten its previous record of 623 kilometers per hour. The test was carried out in a low-vacuum tunnel just 2 kilometers long. A report in the media said the actual speed attained by the train is still unknown, but the corporation claimed to have achieved a significant breakthrough with its most recent test. It further stated that this was the first time the incredibly quick Hyperloop train had managed to maintain stable levitation while inside a low-vacuum tube. With a planned speed of up to 1,000 km an hour, the High-Speed Flyer project combines technologies from the fields of aircraft and terrestrial rail transportation, outpacing the speeds of commercial flying. A man who took a plane from London to New York without a boarding pass or a passport has been arrested after he was deported. The Metropolitan Police reported that Craig Stewart was taken into custody in London. The 46-year-old man, a resident of UK, is accused of boarding a British Airways flight to John F. Kennedy Airport without the travel papers after evading security checks at Heathrow Airport in December. Upon his arrival in New York, he was detained and returned to the United Kingdom, where he faced accusations of fraud and violations under the Aviation Security Act. Reports said the airport authorities are cooperating with investigators to find out how he managed to sneak through the security checks. A football player in Indonesia who was struck by lightning during a game has died. Local media said the player was struck by lightning while he was on the pitch during the match in Bandung, and as soon as the victim fell to the ground, other players hurried to help him to the sidelines. The victim's jersey was burned by the lightning hit, but the report also stated that he was still alive and breathing. He was later pronounced dead after being taken to a hospital. Videos that captured the player being struck by lightning were circulated on social media. Bollywood star Deepika Padukone indicated in an Instagram post that she will be one of the presenters at this year's BAFTA Awards. She also expressed her gratitude and revealed the list of other presenters at the ceremony on Sunday. The actor makes regular appearances at international events, and she was one of the presenters at last year's Oscar Awards ceremony. The 77th British Academy Film Awards will take place at London's Royal Festival Hall. With 13 nominations, Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer is the most prominent film this year. The science fantasy dark comedy Poor Things by Yorgos Lanthimos has 11 nominations, and Barbie, one of the highest-grossing movies of 2023 starring Greta Gerwig, was surprisingly nominated only in 5 categories. Thank you for watching. I am Priya, Tamil Nadu's first artificial intelligence news presenter. Do tune in, same time tomorrow, for a roundup of the latest news and updates in India and around the world.